our expert will be forecasting the market in the last quarter of this year, as well as the movement of the market in the region prior to the ASEAN integration and beyond, whether the integration would be opportunities or challenges for investors within and outside the region.
How do you foresee the market in the last quarter?
Well, I think that with all things being equal, as long as we don't have any sort of further sort of external shocks, we think we'll see continued demand in the office market. We'll see that continue to grow as we go forward. The manufacturing, I think we'll probably continue to see continued demand. We expect that to continue to grow. We're starting to see more investment coming from markets like China, for instance, and I think we might well see some more manufacturers from their established bases in Thailand.
Okay, and the ASEAN Economic Community will be in full implementation in 2015, and what is the movement of property market in terms of commercial sector in ASEAN now, and what is it like going to be in the future ahead of the ASEAN Economic Community?
Okay, well, overall, generally, the commercial markets throughout ASEAN are doing quite well. There are pockets where there's some imbalances in supply and demand, certainly as well in terms of on the office side. So Singapore, for example, has quite a lot of new supply coming into the market right now, which is putting some downward pressure on rents. But overall, there's still healthy levels of demand. And I think that as ASEAN opens up and those linkages between the ASEAN states improve, I think we'll see more investment into the country from external markets, and that's only going to be good news, I think, for ASEAN commercial centres around the region.
It will be like more from outside the region, or it will be like within the region?
Well, I think both. I think that's fair to say both. Certainly within the region, we can see companies look to improve its linkages and strengthen its space within ASEAN. So we're starting to see firms which are looking to move their brands across borders. But on an external side, I think the linkages between different markets where you have manufacturing, for example, if you have low-cost manufacturing centres in emerging markets like Myanmar, then and then adding value in neighbouring countries like Thailand, I think you can start to see some external investment from the traditional places, Japan and the US, etc.
Can we say that Myanmar or Cambodia or probably Vietnam could be, the emerging markets, will be attractive, I would say, in terms of property?
Yeah, but those will be the COMV, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and Vietnam. Those nations are definitely the emerging markets. They have an abundant supply of low-skilled labour and lots of natural resources. So I think those firms who are specifically geared towards labour-intensive industries can get a lot of advantages from putting their manufacturing bases in those nations. Then we'll see on the other side, the more developed countries like Singapore and Malaysia starting to grow and improve their financial sectors. Whereas I think we can see a lot more sort of intense competition between Thailand, Indonesia, the Philippines, which are kind of more sort of on a sort of level playing field.
Okay, but how can Thailand still remain competitive among the playing field with Indonesia or Singapore, ahead, or probably after the ASEAN Economic Community?
Well, Thailand's already very competitive in the areas where it's already strong. So the automotive sector, for example, the automotive cluster in Thailand is already very strong. The investment climate for that particular industry in the country, I think, is very supportive. And I'm sure that's well aware of on a national level. So I think that continued policies and investment policies to support and grow those clusters, but we can only make the country go from strength to strength.
So you think that the ASEAN Economic Community will be, an advantage to investors, from outside the region and within the region?
I think that our ASEAN Economic Community has lots of opportunities for investors. The opportunities really is that it's how the markets are going to be able to integrate and being able to have the more labour moving between the various sectors, which is going to improve it.
Okay, and what would be your suggestions for investors? I mean, from foreign investors from outside the region who are coming into the region. What would be your recommendation?
Well, to do your homework. Whilst ASEAN's becoming more integrated, it's still not integrated, and each different market is very unique and has its own quirks. So they need to be studied in depth and to review individual laws, which of course can be very different from somewhere like, say, Myanmar versus Singapore. There's some substantial differences there.
All right. Thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
And that wraps up today's edition of Towards 2015.
We'll see you every weekday from 3:30 to 4 p.m. on Nation Channel, or you can go online at nationchannel.com. I'll see you again. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ